Hello, so sorry that we had a glitch in our video before, so hopefully you guys are still with us right now. Hi, I'm Rain Chuacha from 100% Manusia Film Festival, and tonight we're going to have a discussion with Martin Laroche, who is the director of Laughter, from a film from Canada. And I will try to invite Martin in this video right now. Hold on, let me check what. So I'm sorry for the glitch from before. My gadget froze. It happens for online things, so hopefully it's not a very big glitch right now. So hopefully everyone now can join us again, and hopefully Martin can also join us again in a few minutes. So yeah, this is the third day of 100% Manusia Film Festival 2022. Hopefully everyone out there have tried to watch our films. We also have online films at festivalscope.com, and please do come to our venues if you're in Jakarta for this week. We are screening films, of course, at these venues, and we're still waiting for Martin because of the glitch from before. Oh, sorry. Yeah, and sorry, I get distracted easily. I'm so sorry about that. But anyways, I'm at the venue right now. We have one screening, and we just finished screening Laughter, actually. So hopefully this time the connection is better. And yes, let's see now. Yes, here we go. And I'm going to. Yes, Martin here with us. Hi, Martin.
Hey,
So
sorry.
sorry. I think something happened on my end, a glitch or
Okay.
something. Yeah.
I'm so sorry too. So I'll be everything will be great now.
Yes, hopefully. And what we were talking about, where you got the idea for the film
Yeah.
before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please continue.
I was a little confused, like the film. Yeah. I wanted to like talk about what war means to someone who were traumatized, and I also want to talk about like it's called the survivor complex for the people who survive horrible stuff or even small stuff. I lost one. My best friend was when I was 21. He was sick and I wasn't, and I think I in a small proportion I experienced a bit of that stuff where you were like, why did I survive? Why why am I living my life and forgetting and he's not? Um, so I wanted to talk about those stuff, but I didn't want to talk about them in a realistic way. So I put a lot of symbols, and I tried to have some kind of like a spontaneous writing, just to put symbols without even knowing why I'm putting them. Like when you write poetry sometimes, or even other stuff, or do paintings, or so that's when I started the project, and that's the first draft were like that.
And how long did you work on the film? I mean, like you said, the first draft, you probably wrote that for some time, and then there's the production, and then the post production. How long did the whole process take?
Just to finance the movie, it was long because it was not easy to um like get the film to the institution and like try to make them like get the concept and everything. So just I think it takes 4 years just for the financing. And so I wrote and I wrote back the film like for those 4 years, and after that it took maybe 2 years to like start the production, make the film, and but it went really quickly as the moment as we have the financing it got a bit quicker, and we had only 25 days of shooting, so it was a bit of a short shooting. We did like in those 25 days the just the war scene, the first big scene took 4 days. So yeah, so we have to make some choices, and then the post production went like in 6 or 8 months, I think.
So this was shot before the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Okay.
The film went out like in January or no February 2020, so just before the pandemic.
Oh, so it's good that you actually had the film out before the whole world shut down. Yeah.
Of course, it was. We are, of course, when the shutdown hit, the film was still in some places, but
Right. So when well, that's pretty 4 years. That's pretty. That is a pretty well. It is, I guess, short or long depends on how your perception. But is it hard to? I mean, finance films in Canada. I mean, I know that Canada's film industry maybe is not it's not Hollywood, of course, but in Canada there is a film industry. Is it? Would you say that it's a bit harder to finance a film in Canada these days?
these days maybe, but it's not like in French Canada. It's different than in the English side of Canada because they can go to Hollywood for some projects. We can't do that because the film are in French. So we rely only on the institutions. So it's there's no like private funding on French film, and in some English Canadian film too, they're not. So when you relate on the institution, the public financing, it's always longer, but there's a lot of new and great filmmaker everywhere. So there's a lot of people who wants to get their film financed, and that's a good thing, but it makes the financing longer.
Right, right. So, but well, thank goodness you did get the financing for this because it is. I think it's a pretty powerful film, especially the scene that you described at the beginning of the film. That was something that it's something that I remember. It comes to my mind a lot of times because it's very the depiction of well, I don't know if I should. Well, I mean, people have seen this, but I'm not. I'm trying to not be too spoilery, but the depiction of mass killings. That's something that really got to me because how you depict it in your film was very real, I think, and it's very real and it's very disturbing, and it does
Mhm.
make it makes me think that and these type of killings are still going on these days in the world, right? Unfortunately. So yeah, and the theme that you come up with after that scene about grieving and about surviving and about letting go also, those
Mhm.
are very universal, and it's still very relevant to the world that we have today, even though that you mentioned that your inspiration for this was World War II, right? But I think
Oh yeah, but like you
yeah,
said, things still happening, and
yeah,
like when I thought about it, the the horrible thing about this thing is I didn't invent anything on that scene.
yeah,
every person who talked to me about that scene are like, "Oh, that's horrible. That's one of the horrible, like the worst scene I see in cinema and everything." And I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't invent it. I just represented it." So, if you don't like to see that, if you can't stand that scene, make something for that to never happen again.
Yeah, I agree completely because, yeah, well, I guess those people who are making the decisions for war right
Yeah,
now
of
should
course.
see that scene just for that alone.
Mhm.
And I think what I want to ask next was for that scene alone. I mean, I can imagine as an actor working there. Um, was there I mean, it's probably tough for them to go through that scene alone, right? So, was there something that you did to prepare them for that scene? Just that scene alone. I mean, because the other scenes, I think they're not as hard in a way
Mhm.
as this one, and probably maybe it's a bit trauma. It can be traumatizing, I think. So, was there anything special that you did for that?
Oh yeah, of course. I'm a director who rehearsed a lot, so I rehearsed a lot with the with the actors, and especially with Leanne, who's doing all the tough stuff in that scene, including like dragging in bodies and have soil put on her and everything. So we talked a lot about how we're gonna shoot the scene, how she was seeing the scene, how I was seeing myself and everything, and I took for picture of the like the set when we were setting it, and she was prepared a lot, but she was so generous. She never complained. She was always like, "Oh, I didn't think I did the good one. I want to do another." And I was like, you just crawl around bodies. Are you sure? Yeah, let's do another. So Leanne is like just so excellent and a good person, so that helps a lot. But we went through what the limits of the set were possible, and we were just having a really great team who was respectful because she was new and everything. So it's to put the great it's to put a great atmosphere on the set and a great bubble where we can like just everybody is like comfortable to go through the stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, the final product shows that her dedication and all of you guys' dedication towards that scene because it's very powerful and that's what led us to how
Mhm.
we perceive the film afterwards, how we process the next scenes and the storyline. I think because that first scene was very well, not first, but like the begin that scene in particular was very powerful, and yeah, and congratulations, you won the best editing award for this, and I do agree.
Yeah.
I really like the editing for this. It's pretty seamless, and how you combined animation. Well, the effects
Mhm.
from the transition from scene to scene. I really like that. So, was there any? Um, what was your thought process in when you were editing this? Because this is not a linear film, right? It's very how do you say? Well, artsy is a word, but that's not really the word that I'm looking for. But it's not a linear film. That's what my point. But how was your thought process on this? How you wanted to present that? Maybe you can share with us a bit.
Um, we work a lot in teams, like themes like what um, what we were saying in every scenes, and how can we construct like invisible narrative like thread around this. And uh, uh, like naturally the first editing was like the screenplay. We edit the screenplay as it was present, but after that we were like, yeah, that doesn't work. And that's a good thing in those kind of film, that you can really have an editing that you can like shift some stuff. So we tried a lot, and Amelie, who did the editing, was really wonderful. But we were having a lot of post-it with all the different themes and all the characters. And when we have like color post-it, like, I don't know, maybe the red was for when it's really weird and people will not understand, and when we have softer post-it, it was when it's like a bit of a like natural or realistic scene. And we were looking just at the colors, and we were like, okay, we can try to, we're having too much like weird stuff here, maybe we can like just put it in the rest of the editing. So but we were trying to find the instinct that I have when I wrote the film. Like when we watched the movie, we were like, eh, the editing like was really like approved or not when we watched the entire movie, and we were like, do we have that instinct back? No. The when is the when are the parts where that doesn't work, and we were working on that parts. So yeah, um that's how we make the editing. So we were trying to find that instinct back.
Well, okay. Sorry, I tend to kind of jump from topic to topic, but
No problem.
I'm reminded that you said that you actually had time to screen this to the audience before the pandemic, right?
Mhm.
So, right. So, how did the audience react? You screened it in Canada, of course, and where else did you manage to screen it before the pandemic hit?
Oh, the audience, it was really polarized. Sometimes with my past movie, it was like, oh yeah, that's good. Or other people, yeah, I really enjoyed it. But for this film, it's like everything in the world right now. It's like I really hate it or I really love it. But there was like not a lot of like in betweens. And we had really a lot of terrible reviews from some audience. They were like frustrating, and it was really visceral. And but what I like about that movie is I had some uh, return or review that was really sincere, and they really enjoyed it. And for some people, they wrote to me, and they were like, that movie changed my life. And I didn't have that for my past movie. It was more consensual, but not so much visceral. So if the movie is hated by a lot of people, so be it. But I'm happy that some people are like loved it, and that helped them in like what they're experiencing or whatever.
Yes, because for me, I mean, me personally, yeah, it and also for the audiences that we just watched your film, we had. I mean, I don't know how in Indonesia there's been a history of violence, because whether it's from colonialism, but also between what do you call it, a civil war, I guess, if you can say that. And there are still some areas right now that are still in conflict. So the idea of mass killings and the trauma that goes with it, it does open up a conversation between us, because there's also this event that happened in 1965, where it is basically a civil war, if I may say so, where many people were just like your film. They were rounded up. They were executed without any trial. And some people are missing, and there's not. I think there have been efforts in reconciliation, but it's not really something that's openly discussed right now.
Mhm.
We discuss it, but well, because it does bring up a lot of hurt and a lot of trauma also, but at least uh, in safe spaces we can discuss this, and we can also talk about like I said, it's a universal theme, right? So we do relate what the theme, sorry, the theme that your movie portrayed. We also can relate because we also we do experience those kind of things also in our country. So, and I think I was pretty happy with this selection because it did spark conversation between the audience. Because in for our films, we usually do have a Q&A after each screening because we're a human rights film festival, right? So we want
Yeah,
to raise awareness about these issues. So that's why we have these Q and A's, and yeah, what I really liked that was, and yeah, the audience was pretty quiet after the film was
mm,
ended because we were all trying to process what we just saw, but then afterwards, yeah, some we started talking, and some mentioned about there was this conflict in the Maluku area 10 years ago, I think, or 15 years ago. But and then also there's also some conflicts that's happening right now here. They're not, well, depends if I don't know if it's big or small. I guess it's how you perceive it, but the fact that it's still happening, it's also a conversation for us to have in our country. And like you said, if we don't want these things happening, we have to start doing something about that. So I think, yeah, thank
yeah,
you for doing this film because it does. Well, it does raise cute questions while watching it, but also it does give us some aha moments that, hey, we need to do something, you know?
of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
great. That's a great like thing to say. It's wonderful. Yeah, we have to do something.
yeah, yeah. And well, actually, when you made this film, did you actually have uh, expectations on what this film might bring? I mean, did you actually want change? Not change, but maybe this film will open some conversation about something, and you know to policy making, maybe, I don't know, but I don't know, maybe did you have like these kind of ideas while making the film, or you just wanted to, you just had this idea and then you just wanted to make a movie about that, but then after that everything just came, like you said, honest reviews and such, they just came about like that.
Yeah, but you always hope that I always hope that my film will like yeah like make some conversation or like stay on the head of the people who watch it and like have some reflection, some thinking about these concepts, you know. So yeah, yeah, you always like wish of that, but you know, you never know. So I try to like have a distance because I don't want. I'm doing my best with the movie I made, and after that, it's not my uh, you know, it's not for me to choose or to see what is going to happen with the movie. There's so much like things that can happen, so I just wish for the best. And but of course, when I do movie like that, uh, I want I hope for people to have some. connection with it, and that would help the reflection and like yeah, the conversation on that, and and doing a movie is not realistic. I think stays more in the head, you know. So I hope that all the symbols and everything will like stay in the head and put some reflection about that on people.
I think it did, at least with the audience that that I just watched it with. Oh, well, are you working on anything now?
Yeah, I'm working on a small comedy, a small. It's not that small because it's been like 7 years and we're still doing the
Wow.
same thing. But yeah, it's a more like a comedy who's a bit like I don't know, like a dramatical comedy or comedy dramatic. But yeah, which has some absurdity and some I think philosophy in it. So I'm trying to. I really like what laughter can make, um, and I think like comedies are always a bit like yeah, it's not like a drama, but I think comedy can have a lot of power on people. So I'm working on another. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, hopefully we can also screen that sometime in the future when you're done. And actually, speaking of laughter, I mean, the title of this film, Laughter, is
Yeah.
very what do you call it? It's actually the opposite of what the character was feeling, but also at the end where she, okay, should I say this or not? But there is this part where I think it was her coping with whatever she's going through laughter, right?
Hmm.
I'm not going to spoil any scenes. Sorry. I tend
Oh, it's fine.
sometimes I accidentally do that, but I think there's this scene where she does that. Is there? I don't know. Is there a reason why you actually named the movie Laughter, Larir?
Of course, for me, it's like what laughter can make for you in life because and our laughter can sometimes be seems a sacrilege, you know. People are thinking that laughing in some contexts is not acceptable, and it's so much a human reflex that is beautiful and that we should it's the thing that I think is the common point on every dictatorship or every like extremist. The common point is they can't laugh because laughter is a sacrilege. You know, laughter is something that is so for me like to be able to laugh is a wonderful thing and is a thing that we should never forget. You know.
Because laughter helps us go through hard times.
Yeah, because it's some kind of a distance. If you can laugh about something, is you can have a distance about this thing. So it's a process, but it's really necessary at the end.
Yeah. I agree with you. And well, I hope laughter continues to go through screenings in I know in other parts of the world because I think it would be really great if more people can have access to your film. So hopefully that will come in the future. And yeah, I don't. I think I'm not gonna take any more of your time because it's Sunday morning for you, and
It's
I'm
fine.
asking all these hard questions before you probably had your
I'm
coffee. So
sorry. I'm sorry for my English that is not perfect.
no, no, don't worry about that. I mean, I'm Indonesian. My English is not perfect either. I don't think English speaking people's English are perfect either. So, oops. Well, that's my opinion. But I think at least the main thing is that we communicate and we understand each other. That's awesome. That's
Exactly.
all there is to it, right? So, well, again, thank you for joining us today, this morning, this Sunday. It's up. It's tonight. Yeah, okay, sorry. But thank you for joining us today. And your film will be screened one more time at our festival. So hopefully, after probably watching this, more people would come to the screening and yeah, be be entranced by your film and have that food for thought afterwards after watching it. So thank you, Martin,
Thanks a lot
and
to
have a
you.
great Sunday.
And you too.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, thank you. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us. And our festival is still going on. You can access our films at festivalscope.com if you're in Indonesia. There are 9 movies that are currently hosted there, and we still have screenings at the venue. So yes, please do come to our venues and watch our screenings. I will see you at the venues, and this is me, Rain Chuacha, Festival Director of 100% Manusia Film Festival, signing off. Good night, and have a great weekend.